Okay, let's seam this ruffle sweater together before we do the collar. Okay, so now that I have all of the buttonholes secured, I'm now going to pull the green thread that we sewed in there very carefully. It should just release, just like that. And now we just have a nice clean band of buttonholes. And they don't really stick out, but they're nice and firm. The buttons go in. They're not so loose that they're going to come out of the hole once the garment is all buttoned up. So now we are going to very carefully sew up these pieces that we have, and then we will probably Kitchener stitch to make sure that the client doesn't have any seams rubbing against her skin. And that was her biggest complaint over the blue one that we made for her. So now we're going to get started on that. There are many different ways to try and seam these up. I'm going to use my knitting machine itself as a linker. I'm going to start with the extremely wide back piece. I'm going to put you back in frame. Okay, I'm going to start at the back piece. With the right side to you, so the business side, I'm hanging from the armhole all the way up to the neck. I'm not being very picky on which stitches I grab, as long as they're easy to grab. Try not to fold them over. Because of the way that we did the armholes, they should be really easy to find. The reason why we do raglan is so that we can easily find the stitches and match them up. It is the most user-friendly of the sweater types to work with. So I'm going to continue hanging the long stitches. And we'll be right back. Okay, that wasn't as wide as I thought it was going to be. So now we will just use the sleeves. Make sure I have a sleeve and a sleeve. Not sure what that was. Okay, so now we got to determine which sleeve goes on this back piece. And this would be the left sleeve, I guess. Should be. No, should be the right sleeve. should be this one, but they don't match. Or do they? Okay, let's look at this. Yeah, this should be it. So let's start hanging and see what happens. So you match it up. Again, just the long stitches. And as you can see, they actually match. Okay, so now we just have the long stitches all connected. Deep breath. I'm going to put this other piece away. I'm not sure why I have such a long piece here. I'm going to cut it. So I'm just going to cut these the same length. That's a nice length for seaming thread, so let's reuse it. I wonder if we shouldn't redo this and hang this so that it's longer. So instead of just very carefully sewing through, hang on. Hi, Pepper. What's up, baby? Hi. Apparently my dog needed to come visit. Hello, baby. No, you can't choose that. All right. If I hang every stitch, it'll be way... No, we're just going to speed sew it. We'll Kitchener stitch the collar to the doodad. Okay, baby, go upstairs. I love you too. Okay, we're going to start at the armhole. And we're going to end at the collar. So we're just going to go through the long stitch. Crazy poodles. I'm going to leave at least a hand's width. And then just come through. Again, not very tight. Can always tighten it up after. Oops. Crazy dog. It's not very often Pepper comes to join us in the studio. But hey, I'll take it. One second, please. Oh, almost missed a stitch. I guess I'm distracted by a poodle. Last couple stitches. Okay, it's the last one. Not pulling hard. Things forward. Did I miss any? I don't think I did. Oh, I have misplaced my scale. There it is. Let's see how it looks. I think that's a pretty good seam. They are connected. Doesn't look like I missed anything, and it's a nice looking seam. So yeah, that's the seam that we're going to do for all of these pieces. So now I will hang the other side of the back, and then we'll hang the other sleeve. Alright, so I hung up the other side, so this should be the left sleeve. Starting at the armhole, leaving about a hand width, coming through. Sorry. Again, not pulling hard. Just going through the long stitches. Who needs a linker when you still have your knitting machine? Alright, everyone needs a linker. They're awesome. I think you get the idea. Not even in frame. I don't think so. Whoa! Okay, so we're sewing up this back to left sleeve. Didn't realize I wasn't in frame, and then I lost my camera angle. We're just neatly sewing these up, and then we'll sew the fronts on, and then it's time for the neck. Well, the collar. I may not have grabbed enough yarn this time, which is fine. I can always get more. And yeah, I got just enough yarn. There we go, a nice seam. And now we will do the fronts to the sleeves. Okay, there's a lot of weight on the backside and sleeve, so I just hung a little bit of it to reduce the stress on this end stitch. I also had too much weight on that button band, and so a lot of the stitches got pulled, so I had to work them back. So it's a little messy, to say the least. I also have this long stitch. I want to make sure it doesn't get lost. I want to make sure I have enough yarn. So I'm going one full time around, plus an extra half. All right. Again, starting from the armhole, working my way to the neckline. The sleeve is part of the collar. So the end of the sleeve does not match up with the front the same way it matches up with the back. And I'll explain that in the schematic. So again, we're going through from the armhole, leaving a good hand width of yarn so we can weave it in when we go to do the side seam. Make sure you're not going into the stitches twice. And try and keep your yarn from going into your latches and getting caught up. You don't want to tear this yarn. Okay, we'll come back when I'm done. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. And we open it up. And there's no issues. Everything's fairly neat and tidy. So now we will do the buttonhole side, and then we will start the construction of the collar tomorrow. Okay, so here we are with the final side. It only took me one try to get this to go. Taking extra this time. Oh, I managed to put all my tools in the wrong spot. Okay, starting at the armhole, working our way up to the collar. Try not to lose that yarn tail. Now, if you want to use the smaller pearl type bump instead of the long stitch, you can do that too. There's no rules saying that you can't do it your way. This just happens to be my way. Again, you get the idea, and we'll come back when I'm done. Now I know this looks really horrible, but the reality is once the collar is created, the entire drape of the sweater will change and it will be amazing.